Redfish IVN says hello. Visit us at Agona Swedregana. Today we are talking about why it is worth taping your webcam. Should I tape the camera on my computer? Seems like a silly question. Glue. And don't forget the foil cap. Who needs you with your secrets? Is the standard answer. However, lifetime after time throws arguments not in favor of users who are accustomed to thinking positively. Only in recent days there have been two such examples: the scandal with the suicide of an Italian woman, whose intimate video went through her hands and who even sued, changed her name, but still could not live with it. Plus the modest admission of FBI Director James Comey, yes, I seal and advise everyone. Both stories are not without reservations, but reservations of such a kind that not only do not weaken, but even emphasize the paranoid morality. An Italian woman, Tiziana Cantoni, shot that video herself and shared it with her ex-boyfriend to make her jealous. Fool? Fool. But such cases have become more frequent. That's just in the summer, a 15-year-old American woman committed suicide, whose naked recordings leaked from Snapchat. So imagine what the reaction of a person who was watched without asking could be, if even the authors of voluntary filming commit suicide. And Comey is known as a person who denies the right of a citizen to privacy in the context of mobile devices. It was he who demanded that Apple decipher the iPhone of the murdered terrorist, see Apple vs. Big Brother, but now for some reason he wanted this very privacy for himself. So the very course of events again and again leads to the same stupid question. And taking into account the facts accumulated to the current moment, this is what logical chain is being built. First, their digital devices are blinded more often than other people who are smart and knowledgeable, and not at all surviving eccentrics digging shelters in case of a nuclear apocalypse. Comey is only one of, and he only mentions the camera on the computer. But there is also, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, in the picture from the workplace of which there was a Mac with a glued not only camera, but also a microphone. And Edward Snowden actually put the phones of journalists who came in the refrigerator. Evaluate yourself objectively. You are hardly more aware than any of these trio. And if they don't think it's paranoia to deprive digital devices of sight and hearing, do you have the right to? Moreover, the same Comey, for example, once said that he began to seal the camera when he saw how a person much smarter than him was doing it. Secondly, they spy on users of digital devices not only for the sake of state secrets. Yes, the director of the FBI and the founder of the largest social network may have secrets. But the events of recent years indicate that much more often the object of surveillance are ordinary people who seem to have nothing to hide. 3 years ago, an investigation by the popular resource Ars Technica, dedicated to rats, rutters, people who use remote administration tools, rat, hence the nickname, to spy and eavesdrop on ordinary netters thundered in the West. Without a doubt, the problem is massive, because in just one forum where fans of this fun hang out, now deactivated hackforums.net, the number of victims went to thousands. Rutters trick the victim into installing spyware on the victim's computer, then amusing themselves by watching her. Someone earns in this way, most just get pleasure catching a victim, say, picking his nose. Photos and videos are then scattered on the web, they adorn today's column. There is plenty of such good in search engines for the query rat slaves. And it is unlikely that anything has changed for the better in 3 years. Thirdly, unlike, say, the late 90s, when your humble servant operated on the other side of the law, with the then popular Sub-7 and back orifice, the functionality and range of modern rat tools has grown incomparably. Part of the reason for this is a radical increase in the number and range of devices suitable for espionage. Now it is not only computers, but also smartphones, tablets, smart TVs. And almost everyone has the internet, a microphone for many people, a camera for many. To make matters worse, there is a whole class of legal parental control software for children, which can be used and which is also used for espionage. Finally, on mobile devices, the corresponding function is generally made part of the operating system. I'm talking about the anti-theft tools built into iOS and Android that help to find the device in case of its theft, but which can be used by anyone from the outside, just knowing the password. Fourth, the user still lacks the means to control and treat this infection. Simply put, the victim has no way of knowing that they are being watched. 15 years ago, even a complete beginner could guess this. The computer was too slow and noisy, and when it suddenly began to rustle a screw from scratch, suspicion was born. Today, nothing can be determined by the noise of the hard drive, for many it is even solid state. And antiviruses, as before, help only partially, because they lag behind by a step, work only on computers, and not every program is defined as a virus. Remember that story with American schools, when the administration decided to install surveillance devices on laptops distributed to students? Parents found out about this only when one of them was called to school, because the child was caught for something indecent. I didn't make it up, it really was. And time after time the repeated stories when the rat is installed on a digital device by a repairman? Most of the victims of ratting are in happy ignorance until, figuratively speaking, they become YouTube stars. Finally, there are still no methods or tools that can guarantee the common user that covert surveillance is impossible. The best thing that's been invented is digital hygiene, a set of tips on how to minimize risk. Regularly update the browser and plugins. According to statistics, every second infection happens through the browser. Do not visit dubious resources. Turn on your head when you download something in file sharing. Do not rush to click on the attach that came by mail, etc. And still this does not completely eliminate the problem. For obvious reasons, there will always be vulnerabilities, imprudent users, and lack of experience or knowledge. Now weigh it all and say, does the camera sticker still seem paranoid to you? If there is something to lose, if there is a risk of losing, why not hedge your bets? The Electronic Frontier Foundation, for example, has long been selling stylized stickers of all varieties. It's full of such good on AliExpress. And with mobile devices, a simple double-sided case will help. Since digital technology now controls our every step and every second, let's at least limit it with something. P.S. There is a good short story about the victim of the rudder, based on real events. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Redfish IFN